Hi guys, this is Sydney. As you can tell from the title of this video, I tried to do this look today, which I thought it kind of reminded me of juicy apple. I really wanted to do a look with very kind of glossy red lip and the kind of very dewy and glowy skin look. As you guys may already know, I am obsessed with very glowy and dewy skin look all year round. It doesn't matter if it's spring, summer, autumn, winter. I just love that kind of glowy dewy skin look on me. And in terms of very moisturizing foundations, they tend to lack in the coverage area because when we think about very high coverage foundations, they tend to be more matte than being moisturizing. So I kind of had to mix and match different foundations to come up with my kind of perfect foundation. If you were kind of doing the same thing as me, this video would be a great video for you, because Innisfree, which is one of my favorite brands, came out with the new foundation called My Foundation. And if you remember last year, I collaborated with Innisfree with their new My palette, where you were able to mix and match different eyeshadows, blushes, highlighters, contours and brows and etc. to come up with your own palette, which was very handy for you to carry around. I had my own, I actually had two My palettes, and they were really useful because I could just choose whichever ones I really liked. But this time with the new My foundations, you can actually choose the level of moisture, coverage and the color for your own skin tone to kind of find the perfect foundation for you. So they actually have different coverage level and the moisture level, which adds up to 10 different foundations with different textures, and they came up with 5 different shades. So 5 different shades times 10 different textures adds up to 50 new foundations, which is incredible. So first, when we look at the new My foundation, it has 3 different moisture levels in total. So the smaller numbers are more matte and thick texture, and the higher numbers are more sort of glowy and dewy texture. So to make it easy, 1 would be matte, 2 would be semi-matte, and 3 would be a glow type. And as you may have guessed already, I would be showing you level 3, which is the glow type. Each moisture level has different coverage level as well. So the smaller number obviously means lower coverage, and the higher number stands for higher coverage. So the matte type has 3 different coverage levels, 1, 3 and 5, and the semi-matte type has 5 different coverage levels from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the glow type, which I'm going to be showing you today, has 2 different coverage, 1 and 3, so 1 being lower in coverage and 3 being higher in coverage. Like I told you earlier, they came out with 5 different shades, C13, C21, which are both for cool tones, and they've also came out with N21, N22, and lastly there is N23, which is quite different because most of Korean brands only carry shades 13, 21 and 23, but this time they decided to bring out 22, which is obviously in between 21 and 23. So those were the 5 different shades. So as I was doing my makeup, I tested both of these on each side of my face, and I personally like something that is higher in coverage because I do have some scars and I didn't really want to use a concealer today, so I decided to go with 3.3, which is higher in coverage. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how I created this makeup look. As the focus of today's makeup look is a very glowy and dewy skin look, I've fully moisturized my skin with my skincare routine, and I'm going to move straight on to today's main product, which is the new Innisfree My foundation. And I'm going to be using the foundation in 3.3, which means that it's a glow level and high coverage foundation. And the shade I decided to go for is N21, which is neutral 21, and I will apply that using this My foundation brush, which is perfect for creating glowy skin look. So I tried to stay as close to the camera as possible to show you guys how the foundation really applies on my skin. And as you can see, it's very glowy but still really high in coverage, which is something I really liked. I feel like out of all the foundations I own that kind of stays in the moisturizing category, this one has the highest coverage, and that's why I felt like I didn't really need any concealer today. So I'm gonna skip concealer, and I would have to say I really love the combination of the foundation with this My foundation brush. It just creates the perfect kind of plump dewy skin look. So that's the foundation on, and then I'm gonna move on to using the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which is something I use all the time. It's very easy for the eye makeup makeup to smudge under the eyes when you are going for a very moisturized, glowy skin look. So I'm making sure to prime my eyes, and then I'm gonna powder my eyebrows and my eyelids using the No Sebum powder. As for the brows, I am taking my favorite kind of skinny brow pencil to fill in any gaps, and I love this kind of ash brown shade on my eyebrows. I'm not going to make it too thick or too thin, I'm just going to follow the natural shape of my brows and elongate the tails a bit. And I forgot to powder the perimeters of my face. Since the skin's very dewy and glowy, it's likely for your hair to get stuck on your face, which I don't really want, so that's why I'm doing this here. And then we're gonna move straight on to the eye makeup. I wanted to keep the eyeshadow quite simple, so I'm gonna take my favorite eyeshadow from Innisfree, which is the matte shadow in 32, and I'll take that on this very big fluffy blending brush and then apply it all over the eyelids, going past the socket and covering quite a wide area on my eyelids. Then I'm taking another one of my favorite matte shadows from Innisfree in the shade number 4, and I'm taking that closer to my lash line but still keeping it all over the lids. And I just love the combination of these two. I actually keep both of them in my palette. They are my go-to shades when I'm doing my daily makeup. And then I'm going to be taking those two shades to go over the lower lash line and match the eyelids. Then I'm taking this super skinny chocolatey eyeliner to go over my eyeline, and I'm trying to keep it quite thin because, like I said, the focus today is on the skin and the plump lips, so I'm just gonna keep it simple and tightline my eyes as well. And then I'm taking a dark chocolatey matte eyeshadow in number 36 to go over the eyeliner and smudge it a little bit. And then I'm going to move on to curling my eyelashes and applying a generous amount of mascara because we're not going to be applying any false lashes. Look how much of a difference it makes. Then I'm taking this nude peachy eyeliner to go over the waterline to make my eyes appear wider and brighter. And then instead of taking the same black mascara, I am taking a brown mascara on my bottom lashes. And then to brighten the inner corners, I am taking this peachy beigey glitter in the inner corners closer to my lash line. So I think that's it with the eye makeup. And going back to the face, I still wanted to keep that gorgeous glow on my face, so I decided to go with a liquid blush instead of a powder blush. And since I wanted to go for that juicy apple look, I decided to go with this red liquid blusher on my cheeks. Although it looks really bold and kind of scary when you first apply it from the brush, it just looks really subtle and natural once it's blended out. Again, with the highlighter, I didn't want to use any powder product, so I decided to go with a liquid product once again. I'm just highlighting my forehead, nose bridge, cupid's bow and my chin. Then it's time to contour my face. I'm taking my favorite contouring powder to go over the jawline, and then I'm taking the same product as my nose contour as well. Then it's time to move on to the lips. I'm taking the puff from the Go-To cushion and going over my lip line. Then to create that kind of juicy plump red lip, I decided to use this red oil tint, and I first applied it all over the lips and then applied it once again in the center of my lips so that it creates that kind of bitten look. Then on top of that, I decided to go with this transparent gloss which plumps your lips as well, and that's it. This is how my makeup's looking after around 4 hours. I wore this makeup look out to have lunch, and overall I think it's looking really nice. It didn't go too drying or messy on my face, which was what I was worried about. So again, that's when the makeup was finished, and that's after 4 hours of wear. And that's really it for today's video. I just thought this kind of makeup look would be a great transition makeup from winter to spring. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in till the end of this video, and I'll see you guys again in my next one. Bye!